What is on, guys? Press here back a brand new video, and today we are going to be previewing the 2015 Chinese Grand Prix. So first of all, let's have a look at what happened last year. Well, Lewis Hamilton took his third victory of the season in the fourth race of the season. Of course, now we've swapped Bahrain and China around for 2015. But yeah, Hamilton then took the win in his Mercedes ahead of his teammate Nico Rosberg. But it was Fernando Alonso getting only one of two podiums for Ferrari that year, and Ricciardo, Vettel, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Raikkonen, Perez, and Fiat. And we got 20 cars finishing the race. China, not really known for high attrition rates. You know, last time we only got Sutil and Grosjean out, both with, Sutil got an engine failure and Grosjean had a gearbox failure. So I wouldn't really expect too many retirements this year. We saw, 15 cars finishing Malaysia. That should probably improve to 16 or 17. I'm really hoping we're going to be seeing both Nasr running for the first time this year. If they can do that in practice, then it's a clear indication they can do it for the rest of the weekend. It's been 2 weeks since Malaysia, so I'd really hope that they would be able to run both cars now, and indeed get both cars to the end. Cool to see the battle between Stevens and Merry. Of course, we haven't really seen a fair fight between them, although Merry has gone off twice and Stevens hasn't, so I suppose it's the upper hand to Stevens so far. Although, of course, Merry did a fantastic job, in the race to come home 15. Just 3 laps behind the Mercedes is, not a bad effort to say you're driving, a car, but, from 2014 and a 2014 engine, and it's the worst 2014 car on the grid. And probably the worst engine on the grid as well. The 2014 Ferrari was probably behind the Renault. Of course, this year, they've got probably equal to Mercedes, so I'm really looking forward to Man getting, their Ferrari engine. Could really help them, maybe catch. It's just a shame, I suppose, there's no Caterham because they could probably beat them. So it's kind of a question. Well, who could Man beat? Well, probably nobody, but they could at least get close, I suppose, to Lotus, Sauber, and McLaren, Force India. Of course, Force India not getting their B-Spec car until Austria. That's when we should see a real surge in performance from them. We'll finally see the old Force India back. Maybe not their kind of early 2014 form, but probably their kind of, outside the top. Sorry, just inside the top 10, kind of, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Kind of around there, kind of every race, which where Force India should be, and I suppose they're actually going to get better this season as the season goes on, contrary to what they've done before. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Force India, finally getting a good car, as with Manor. One team that already has a good car and has had a good car for the past year or so is Mercedes, and I'm definitely banking on them returning to form. Hamilton goes really well around this track. This is one of his best tracks. I'm 100% sure he's going to be getting pole and winning the race. If not pole, but he's certainly, I think, going to come through to win the race. Nico Rosberg's probably going to come home in second. He's not that good at China. Yes, he did win his first race here, but he qualified 4th on the grid last year, and he's probably going to get outshined by Hamilton. But it's not a definite. We could still see Rosberg beating Hamilton, but I just feel at the moment Hamilton's got a strong upper hand. He's got the kind of flow with him. He's got the momentum behind him, and I think he's going to carry that into this weekend by just getting back. Sebastian Vettel. Mercedes are bringing updates. I think that's going to help them. Of course, it's different now because China is a very front limited track on the tyres, whereas Malaysia was very rear limited. So we're not going to see, although we're going to see a lot of tyre wear, it's not going to be in the same way. And I think Mercedes should still be ahead from Ferrari, but I'm really hoping I'm wrong. Let me know, guys, do you think Ferrari could possibly beat Mercedes again this weekend, or at least give them a really good run for the money? I'm not so sure, but I really hope they do, and I really hope I'm wrong. If you look in qualifying, of course, they were only a 10th, off, and that would absolutely be brilliant if it was the same here in China. So, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be hoping for as well. Even some Hamilton fans just want, a bit of a challenge for him, because I would as well, if I supported one of the Mercedes drivers. I want them to get a good run for the money, so they can really prove their worth. And, let's just see what Hamilton can do, with a bit of opposition. I'm sure he'll handle it very well. Of course, one of the best drivers on the grid, but of course he's up against one of the best drivers to the grid on in Vettel. Talking of Vettel's old team, Red Bull hasn't been the best start of the season for them, has it? Beaten by Toros from Malaysia, although that wasn't on true pace in my opinion. Fiat had contact, didn't he, with Nico Hülkenberg. Daniel Ricciardo had a damaged front wing, so possibly hindered by that. They were held up in traffic. They got really bad brakes for the last race. They changed their supplier, just puffing out brake, smoke, just being held up in traffic. Just really didn't work for the two Red Bulls, and they should be changing that for China. Should see a slightly different Red Bull. not so much brake dust coming out of their tyres, but yeah, I think Red Bull probably going to be above Toro Rosso for this race. Toro Rosso I think should still be up there in the points. Sainz and Verstappen are a brilliant pairing. I'm just being so happy with both of them. Sainz one of the most underrated drivers on the grid because he's been outshined by Verstappen in kind of media hype. But Sainz has done an equal job to Verstappen in my opinion so far this season. Although Verstappen did beat Sainz in Malaysia, Sainz started 15th and Verstappen started 6th. For them to be separated by only seconds, it was a really great job from Sainz and a fantastic job from Max Verstappen. He's looking like a future world champion already. Just looks so good racing the pack. Those two. They're just two very, very exciting drivers to watch. Especially Sainz, just the way he handles the car. He throws it around like a rally car, and Verstappen just looks like he's been driving an F1 car for years. So, massive fan of the Toro Rosso boys. I think they're doing an absolutely amazing job, and I think we're going to continue to see that in China. Williams should be around where they were in Malaysia. I think not, maybe a bit closer to Ferrari. It depends what's going to go on with this kind of rear limited thing. We'll be able to know from FP2 onwards, but I guess Williams are going to be third place team again. Behind them, it's going to be kind of a melee between Red Bull, Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso could even have the 4th quickest car this year. They could. I think that realistically, they're targeting 5th, and that's a realistic ambition. If you look behind them, of course, I've already mentioned Force India. Look at Lotus, haven't scored a single point this season, and they've got a fairly quick car. So, yeah, it's tough to see what's going on with Lotus. They don't seem to have as quick as a car as many people have hoped. They seem to be ahead of Force India and McLaren, and that's about it. They seem to be kind of level with Sauber, I guess. But Sauber capitalised on a points opportunity in Australia. Lotus didn't. That could pay dividends, later on in the season. Lotus really need to try and get off the mark. They've got Mercedes engine, for God's sake. They've got to be ahead. Force India have no budget. They're running on coal, and they're ahead of them in the standings. They've already done a brilliant job to get 7 points. So, yeah, we should hopefully see an improvement from Lotus this weekend, as with a lot of teams. Let's hope we get a really close fight at the top. That's kind of my wish for this race. I really want to see a close Mercedes and Ferrari battle. Hopefully Kimi Raikkonen will have some good luck, and he can actually challenge Sebastian Vettel. Because China's a pretty good track for Vettel. He's not the best at it. Of course, he failed to win here in 2011 when he won, most of the other races in that season. I suppose he won his first race for Red Bull in 2009. But if you remember before, he didn't qualify and did a different strategy in 2013. But I suppose that's probably because of the tyres. Sorry, 2012. That was probably because of the tyres. Fernando Alonso won in 2013. Nico Rosberg won in 2012. Hamilton won in 2014. We've never seen a successive winner at China. But I do predict that is finally going to change. So my prediction then, Hamilton, Rosberg, Vettel. Let me know, guys, your prediction down in the comment section below. What are you most looking forward to this weekend in China? See you guys on Sunday for my review of the F1 2015 Chinese Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.